Hey guys, Richie here again with another Line 6 Helix custom preset video. This is what happened on the Band Geek podcast a few weeks ago. That is The Calling by Yes, and it's sort of like an obscure Yes tune, but it's from my favorite album ever, and I'm obsessed with it, so we did it on the Band Geek podcast, and a few of you have asked about what's going on with the Helix, and will I make the presets for that available. So first things first, let me show you here. I put all the presets I used on this up on the custom tone site. There are 8 of them. Now, on these presets, there are no special on and offs or bypasses within each preset. I'm literally just going boom, 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 boom from the presets. No trickiness going on here. But I'm going to show you what is going on in every single preset. So, why do I like this song? Okay, this is probably, like I said, my favorite album, and it's, I think, the best album from the Trevor Rabin period. And Trevor Rabin is my favorite guitar. Oh, hey. Look at him over there with no shirt on. Anyway, so I love Trevor Rabin. He's awesome, and I figured, let's pay tribute to this album. So this song is called The Calling, and it is a deceptively difficult song. There's a lot of stuff going on in it, especially in terms of layered production. So when we went about doing this, I didn't want to cheese out and just record a DI guitar and then worry about the effects later. I wanted to actually go for it and use all of the power of the Helix to do it. So let's just get into it right now. So anyway, I have a cool camera here I can bring up. Look at that. It's a little fish-eyed, but anyway, here's so you can see the front of my Helix rack. Now in this video, I was using the Helix floor, but I've since transferred all those presets to the rack. The rack stays in the studio for podcasts and any recording sessions I have to do, and the floor unit stays on the road for my BOC gigs. It's a good system. I love it. Okay. So let's go over to the Helix Editor and check out these presets. So the first thing we start off with is what I call Calling Intro. Now check this sound out. So if you're listening to this in stereo, you should hear there's some crazy stuff going on here. Okay, these sounds, you need to use the Variax for them. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you can get this going with your piezo-equipped guitar. Actually, you probably could, because I'm just using the 2 different paths. So if you have a piezo-equipped guitar, you could still use this, but I'm using the Variax. And so let me go through this and show you guys what I'm doing. This top path is for the Variax. So if we look, I'm using an acoustic here. So let me mute the bottom path so you can hear it. So I'm going to mute this right now. Okay. So here's what's happening with the Variax modeled pickups. So that's it. It's just an acoustic guitar, got a little EQ, some compression, and reverb. But I don't even think I had the reverb on much. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on there. So let me mute this now and let you hear what's happening on the other side. Now over here on this path, this bottom path here, this is Variax magnetics. So this system, when you use the Variax with the Helix, you can split the paths and process them independently and pan them independently, which is, you can see what I'm doing here, because the top side is panned all the way to the left and the bottom side is panned mostly to the right. So check this sound out. And I recommend, if you're using a Strat style guitar like I am, use these 2 pickups, the bridge and middle. So I have a very wet sounding, very compressed Strat sound here going through an AC30, stock cab, chorus, lots of delay, and lots of plate reverb. So when I bring them back up, I shall just recall this. And that's how I'm recreating the intro to this song. So just so you have some context here, This is what it sounds like in the song. So that's that sound. Okay, next sound we have I call calling televerse. And this is when the drums kick in. So here's what this sounds like. And this is, I'm using the Variax for this on a tele model. So, pretty straightforward sound, but I really like this sound. It's got a nice snap to it. Nice and compressed. So I'm using the Variax tele model here. Let me double check that. Yeah, T model bridge. But if you want to use your magnetic pickups, it still sounds cool. So, really works either way. So what's going on here? We have that compressor like I mentioned. I'm using a deluxe stock cabinet again, some EQ, and I just have like a bit of a mid boost here, and a little snap added in the highs. Very subtle chorus. I don't really hear much of it on here. Yeah, I only have 19% in. A pretty short delay, 76 milliseconds. And then lots of room verb. So there's that sound. Next we have calling chorus. This is another sound where I split the Variax modeled sounds and the magnetic pickups. So here's what this sounds like. So one by one, I will mute the magnetics. Got my 12-string acoustic. Nice jangly sound. And what's happening here is we have compressor, EQ, chorus, chamber reverb. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so now I'll mute this one, and I'll bring the magnetics up. And here we have a nice jangly sort of big sound. So again, compressor, another deluxe. Vintage digital delay, which is probably my favorite delay in this unit. But it's a nice big stereo ping pong. And the plate. And when you mix them together, you get to sound like two people, which is awesome. Okay, in the middle of the song, let me show you this section I'm talking about. Oh, and if you want to see this full song, go here. I'll put a link. There. Here. Yeah, go somewhere. There's a link there. Okay, whatever. So here's what that sounds like. Okay, so I call this calling prog arc because it's like sort of the proggy section of the song. Now, this starts off, this defaults with just the magnetic pickups, and it goes back and forth. It has a auto pan sort of thing. So here's what that sounds like. That's the sound, okay? And what's happening there on the magnetic side is we have the Stupor overdrive, script mod phase, that's where the heavy modulation is coming from, the deluxe again, And now we have the auto pan rocking out and the room reverb. So now, check this out when I bring the expression pedal in. Sorry. Anyway, so when I bring the expression pedal in, then you start to hear the Variax, which is on an acoustic guitar, and I have that mapped to expression 2. So watch. Now to make them sound different, because I was getting too much, it sounded too much like the same instrument. What I ended up doing is I delayed this one, so it's 100% delay here, just to make it to lag the acoustic a little bit, so it sounded like 2 different attacks. And again, EQ, compression. I have the chorus bypassed here and chamber reverb. So when you have them together, it really sounds like 2 people. That whole thing there. So that's that sound. I think it's a pretty interesting sound. Okay, now let's get to the fun stuff here. Now there's a part at the end of that section that goes but you know, so if I play it down here, that's where it would be. But the problem is it's played all the way up here on a 24 fret guitar. So the 2 Variax guitars I have are both 22 fret guitars. So I had a problem. So in order to get this, I made this lead sound where the Variax is on a Les Paul setting is tuned up a whole step. So here's what I'm playing. I don't know if you can hear this in the mic. So then when I turn this on, I have... So that's just a lead sound with the guitar tuned. So to do that, you go to the input block, and down here you'll notice that there are 6 sliders for each of the strings, and you'll notice that I have all of them plus 2. So it's basically transposing the whole guitar up a whole step. A lot of people, they've downloaded some of my presets and they said that, oh, the tuning's not working. All your, Variax tuning features are sort of wonky. Well, here's how you do that if you're having this problem. Go to Variax settings, make sure it's on per preset and not global. This way that you'll allow the preset to actually change the settings here, which is what we want. Okay, I'm going to go over these amp settings later because this is copied from my lead sound. So anyway, moving on. I have this ridiculous sound that really isn't useful for anything except for one note in the whole song. And I'll show you the note right now. Now, that isn't an EBow or, edited on Pro Tools or anything. That's actually me playing one note and just hitting it the right way and getting lucky. So what I did here is, if you'll notice, it's pretty noisy. I had to turn the input gate off because I didn't want anything hampering this. I'm compressing the crap out of this sound with this squeeze pedal thingy, compressor pedal. I have the Archon with a very healthy drive. I'm using an impulse response here. My favorite one, the Own Hammer. Mesa 412 closed back. I have delay and reverb, but they're off here. So anyway, here's what this does. So it just rings really long. It's a very noisy sound, but it worked for that. So this is kind of a useless preset. I put it up there just for the sake of having it up there. It's the Lester model in here on the bridge position. It doesn't always sustain all the time. You have to get a little lucky. So this is just the best way I was able to achieve this. But anyway, that's a stupid sound. So moving on, we have this calling chicken picking sound. Okay, what's that? Well, this is a tele model inside the Variax that we're using. And again, this works fine with or without the the Variax. It's a good preset. So we have a nice compressor here. Deluxe again. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a twin this time. Going into the Cali EQ for a real mid-rangey boost there to get the snap. I'm using my own hammer Mesa preset again, my Mesa impulse response. I got a slap delay and a room reverb. So that's that sound. It's really cool sound. And check it out. If I use my magnetic pickups also. So this sounds really good either way, you know. So you can use this with your regular electric guitars or the Variax if you want to get exactly the same sound I used. So that was a fun one. And now the last sound here is probably my favorite sound from this and one I've carried over to other presets. This is the Calling Big Lead, and there's this really awesome lick. It's almost like an Eric Johnson-y sort of lick, but it's, to me, it's a Trevor Rabin lick. So it's I love this sound. So again, we have the red squeeze compressor starting it off just to make it nice and even. I know Trevor Rabin loves compression. Then we have this Archetype Lead. This amp is so cool. This was perfect for this. This just got this sound, which was crazy. So here are the settings. Pretty healthy overdrive again. Then I have an EQ, which I ended up not using for whatever reason. Again, I have the Own Hammer 412 Mesa closeback. There's the exact model if you want to download it for yourself. Then I have this delay. And the room reverb again. So I'm using the Lester model here, and it starts off with the neck pickup. But then I switch it while I'm playing to the bridge pickup. So I had to make sure I was on the Lester bank on the guitar while we were doing the actual recording. And that's it. But check this out. I'll go back to the magnetic pickups now. This sound just sounds awesome. What I find is this particular sound, the lower output your guitar is, the better. Like if I put this on my Music Man Axis, it doesn't work as well as, say, like a Tele or something just kind of nice medium, like vintage output. It works really well for that. Just a great sound, and I've been sort of sitting on this one for a while, and I'm happy to share it now. So those are all the sounds, and I hope you like this video. Oh, hey, Trevor's still there. Hey, what are you doing here? Anyway, so I hope you like this video, and yeah, so download those. And remember, it helps to have this, but for a lot of these sounds, you can use them for your regular electric guitar. But this is totally, I wouldn't have been able to do this particular song the way I did it with a traditional rig. I had to have the Variax into the Helix because that really made this whole thing possible. So I hope you like this video. For more stuff like this, check out my playlist here. That's all of my tutorials. I have stuff on the Helix, stuff on the Variax, and stuff on other non-Line 6 gear if you're interested. And to see more covers where I use the Helix and the Variax, check out my podcast, Band Geek. We have all of our live performances here. So, and our studio performances, all that stuff. So, thank you guys, and see you next time. Thanks for watching this video. To see even more videos, make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to interact with me on social media, please follow my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. If you like podcasts, check out my show Band Geek on the Riotcast Network. For tour dates and even more info, go to richiecastellano.com. Now, here's a video I picked just for you. I think you'll like it. Go ahead, click it. It's good. Eh?